can't commonly understand. Funny, so a lot of people there's many smart contracts if you want, and you can.
Super happy, Dragon Lucky!
Hello and welcome. I'm Danny Ledke, reporting live from the Hurricane here at Dragonchain's Bellevue headquarters. In the world is coming to an end news, Hurricane Dorian has reached the west coast as heavy rainfall and wind continues to overtake the region. We don't know when the storm will end. In Twitter sphere news, only 5 days left until Funface deletes its Twitter account, with recent events highlighting the need for decentralized identity with verifiable credentials. In world news, Hong Kong protesters cut down a smart lamppost used for facial recognition, and police officers fired tear gas at large crowds this weekend as anti-government protests continue. Mainland China's social credit system is the most extensive program of the government surveillance system the world has ever seen. That may deter crime, but it may enable governments to monitor people it thinks it's undesirable. In other Twitter news, Jack Dorsey, founder and CEO of Twitter, was hacked, in this case of a swim swap. From Jack's Twitter account, "Unsuspend my shit, you bald skeleton head tramp." Reports have claimed that Jack has offered to give the hackers verified credential marks as well as 1 million followers in exchange for its Twitter account. Jack, the team at Dragonchain wishes you well. In U.S. news, a new report from the Washington Post suggests that the White House has been briefed on a potential new agency named HARPA. This agency would turn to monitor your Fitbit or other wearable data in real time so it could tell whether you're a mass murderer. It goes to list a number of widely used technologies it suggests could be employed to help collect data, including Apple Watches, Fitbits, Amazon Echo, and Google Home. This data would then be used to create a sensor suite, which would be used to predict changes in your mental health, decipher your risk of becoming a mass murderer. Killer technology. And that is Dragonchain News. Thank you. Cut.
Hi, I'm John, and I'm excited to tell you that my course on how to launch a Dragonchain Level 2 verification node is available now or will be extremely soon on the Dragonchain Academy. We'll start with how to register on the Dragonchain console, then show you how to launch your first Ubuntu Linux VPS server, then show you how the automatic installation script works, or the step-by-step command-for-command manual process that gives you full control. So head over to academy.dragonchain.org and sign up. Thanks.
Hi, I'm John Bonazza. I'm the CEO, founder, and technical director at Summer Play Games.
And I'm Joe. So John and I have a long history from way back, doing a lot of work when I lived out east. And you came right out of school, maybe?
Yeah, I actually interned with you guys while I was in school, and then worked
That's right.
part-time while I was in school, and then joined full-time after I graduated.
Did a lot of we did some boring projects, but they're still cool.
We had to make the money coming in. You know?
Yes, but we also did some work Coinbase and
yeah. So we actually started the first Java Coinbase API way back when Coinbase first started. I think it was 2013, and yeah, it was actually they actually shouted out to us on their site and linked us to our repo and everything. So
yep.
it's pretty cool.
We bought a somewhat lackluster, but still a reasonably competitive Bitcoin miner
At the time. It was the hot stuff.
Yeah.
It was
And we, we set that up. That was fun. That was pretty cool. Then you left and you went west.
I went to California and I joined Sony working on the PlayStation Now game streaming service. Think Stadia kind of deal. This was in 2014. I've been there ever since, and then in end of 2018 I started Summer Play. So we're working on bringing blockchain into the mainstream gaming industry, trying to, right now we got CryptoKitties and all the hundreds of knockoffs from that, but we want to take traditional gaming and bring blockchain into that. So.
And what are maybe you can talk about some of the particular features or services that you're talking about, capabilities, I guess, that you're talking about wrapping for gaming that would be blockchain based.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things many blockchain games are going to need is some sort of cloud wallet solution. We'd really like to wrap that into a service on top of Dragonchain. We'd also like to wrap things like matchmaking, things like scarcity on the blockchain as well for things like tokenized items. Of course, Dragonchain uses their own smart contracts, so we'd provide a standard API for creating those specifically for games. Things like conventional metadata and tokens and stuff like that. So.
Right, and I guess that's what most intrigued me when you reached out again. That the scarcity, the provability, I guess, of fairness of random stuff in games, and then in the end for adoption, right? Where potentially all of these things can be used to get people to play the games. And
the hardest part, sorry to interrupt, the hardest part of any online game is reaching critical mass. And I think if you can create, there's a lot of talk in the crypto community about the whole multiverse concept, and I think that's a really powerful mechanic, especially if you ignore the weapon and item side of things, but focus on characters being on the blockchain, because then you can bootstrap a game very easily where otherwise it would cost a lot of resources, a lot of money and a lot of time marketing to get a game bootstrapped. But if you already have hundreds of thousands of characters that just work with the game, then that's a really powerful thing, especially for indies who don't have a lot of resources.
Right. You move on to the next version, or whatever.
It could be a game we make. It could be a game Nintendo makes. Who knows?
Right.
Having that foundation there is powerful, no matter who's doing it. So.
Very good. So I'm Joe Roach, the architect and the founder of Dragonchain, and Chad's boss.
I'm James Mayo. I am the founder and CEO of 8 Circus Studios.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the technical director, founder, and CEO of Summer Play Games.
Hi, I'm Gary Hall. I'm from BitGamer, and I was a part of the panelists up here at Dragonchain at One Piece.
On the gaming panel tonight, really interesting info. Lots of good questions. Thanks, Zara. One way or another, I think we got some good insights, especially from people who are really building stuff in the gaming world that is using different blockchain features, capabilities, and there's just a lot of good info there, and hopefully we got a lot of the right people together that we can build some things going forward.
Had a bunch of really educated folks who definitely are passionate about blockchains, matches us, and we got a chance to talk about what we thought the future might bring between blockchains and games.
So yeah, I think the industry in blockchain and gaming has a bright future. Even in gaming, if you look at the numbers, like how popular it's getting, the charts are just going up. And that's just in America. It's like, especially if you start considering like Southeast Asia and other parts of the world, gaming is just, it's exploding.
People ask what are the big players doing in the industry? And while we can't answer that specifically, we can say that you can expect a number of other industry big shots to also jump in on that. As an industry, we don't like to fall behind. If somebody big comes out and does something cool and new, then you'll see other people come out and do the same thing. So in the future, expect to see blockchain really start being pumped out in games, I would say.
And I really think that gaming will hopefully become an Olympic sport. And then once it does, I think everything will explode even bigger.
One of the things that we care about deeply is a future where we all get to experience the shared reality called the metaverse. I think blockchains are key to that. So one of the cool things is to explore ways in which to solve some of the problems that we all might encounter with blockchains, whether it's transaction viscosity or other things like high fees. So these are all great opportunities for games. Games have typically led the way for new innovations, and I think in this case it will be no different. So.
Hello. Okay, so this week, hopefully it was, hopefully you liked that show. It was pretty good stuff. The show's really come together. We had a couple of things this week. Of course, the PAX end of last week, and the event with the panel. Really good turnout, really good set of people, a lot of good info. We also did the time burn and the team distribution, which moved, I can't remember how many million dragons into company-owned wallets for time use and incentives for all the employees. Really good stuff. We also have, of course, go to the Academy page today. I'm not certain what time it'll be released, but the verification node walkthrough and script and documentation is there to get your own level 2 running on either a Linode or AWS, I believe, or on your own machine, even better. So look at that, try it out, give us feedback. There will be, I hope, in the coming weeks, no promises, some improvements even on the memory footprint and making it possible to run on smaller hardware even. So once we get that, we'll roll stuff out. You'll have updates. John really did an amazing job with that course, and it's well worth it. Watched it a couple of times, so really good stuff. Other than that, we also have, and we expect that the pages will be published today for the new bounty programs. So we'll probably have a lot more info on it next week. Maybe we'll have a full walkthrough, but the first bit is we have a security and bug bounty, which is the typical fare for open source project, but we tried to look at best practices and put together a process where people, if they find a real issue, find a bug in the code, find a security vulnerability, that they can report it to us in a clean way and be rewarded. And there are tiered rewards based upon the severity of the bug or the vulnerability. Also on the if there's a proposed fix, like we have hopefully something that'll work that way, and give us feedback and start looking at the code. There should be money there. The other bounty program that we're pushing out today is the strategic project bounty, which basically are a lot of applications and use cases that we want to build, and yet we've not been able to prioritize them because we have too much to do already. So what this program will allow is for us to publish project descriptions, criteria, requirements, vision, things like that. So you can look through these, or developers or teams can find projects that they like, express interest, either get involved if a team is already working it, or take it on themselves. Some of them will be really small, some of them will be bigger. I'll go through a couple just in advance, and we do definitely want feedback, because we're trying to figure out a lot of the details, and we have some that BizDev put together that they really wanted to prioritize, and I have a bunch in there that we've just never had time to build yet. The first is Flutter projects, which is mobile apps that it could be generally any mobile app, including a generic functionality that you could plug into any Flutter project. And if you haven't heard of Flutter, it's a mobile app framework, I believe started by Google. I might have to verify that, but one way or another, it's something that you can build that you compile an iOS and an Android version, and you can deploy it. Pretty cool stuff. So we're looking for projects in that, and that's one of the models where we would pay for every project that fits into that description and into those requirements. Another that that a lot of us have been pretty excited about for a while, and we just haven't found the person yet, and we haven't had time internally to do it, is an engineering workflow platform that would be blockchain based, where we would start with Git and GitLab, and then integrate GitHub as well. But Git is a decentralized software change repository, and it's amazing stuff that you can see the paths, and you can see forks, and you see differences in code, and you can operate your entire team on that. And yet, if we capture those changes on blockchain, you can also prove that they happened when they happened. And the first reason that you'd want to do that is for an enterprise, that you would have IP protection, that you would be able to prove that you had this code in place on this date if somebody ever sued you, or if you had some patent issue or something else. And that's pretty valuable. But we also want to plug it into an incentivization platform, where an open source project or a commercial project could incentivize their community and their developers to do things based upon the people that are actually using the software. A bunch of really neat stuff. And so there's a whole set, I think there are 3 separate projects tied to that with tiered work, and some of it for a lot of devs should be pretty radically simple to do. We also have centralized logging, which would be a plugin to syslog-ng. It's pretty technical stuff, but really, really valuable, really amazing things we could do with that. We also have what we spoke about last week on the show, the PostgreSQL integration. We're going to put that in here. Now, we might find someone to do that, but in the meantime, it's out there. It's a good opportunity. And that's plugging in to do interchain with relational databases, also to do stored procedure smart contracts. Pretty amazing stuff. Another one is hardware integrations, where we're wanting to, and especially, we're waiting on core team to deliver some changes in that footprint I spoke about earlier. But we're wanting to see especially the verification nodes, but in the end, yes, the business nodes as well, deployable to Raspberry Pi, Arduino, smaller systems, so that we can put them everywhere. There's some gaming ones, there's some analytics ones, there are some enterprise projects described, and so all of these things should be up there. We're hoping today, and in the very least, it'll be up there soon. And some of them will be more fleshed out than others. We're basically going to go through and start getting documents with all of the criteria and all of the awards documented for everybody, so they can decide if they want to do it. So I think that's everything we have this week. Let us know any feedback, and if anywhere we can improve. Thanks a bunch.
It's crazy, JoJo's craziest merch sale ever! Get everything in Dragonchain merch! Get it on out during Crazy JoJo's craziest merch sale ever! JoJo's prices are insane! We are not undersold, we will not be undersold, we cannot be undersold, and we mean it! Get a JoJo shirt, get a Dragonchain sticker, get a hardware wallet, and get a limited edition JoJo while you still can! Go to merch.dragonchain.com. That's merch.dragonchain.com. Merch.dragonchain.com.